This is the Widow Podcast, and I am Karen Sutton, the Widow Coach. I'll be supporting you through the loss of your life partner so you can find a more positive way through your grief. I want to give you hope after loss and to know that when you are ready, you can create a meaningful life for yourself with the help of me, Karen Sutton, and the Widow Podcast. Hello and welcome back. I am so pleased you are joining me again today. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Today I wanted to talk to you about a client of mine, a lady called Katie Hunt. Katie was married to Jamie, and Jamie died in 2020, leaving Katie and her two young boys behind. Katie came to me for some help, support in her grief, in her widowed journey, and we worked together for a while. Katie, as you know, was absolutely devastated. She had never known despair like it and didn't know how to carry on, didn't know who she was, didn't know where she fit in the world, didn't know how to parent her two boys without their dad. So many unanswered questions, so many fears, so much sadness. Katie recently got back in touch. She sent me an email and told me about a TED Talk she had done in December last year, December 2022. And it was so wonderful to hear from her. Because when I work with clients, everything that we talk about, everything that we work through, everything that we explore together not only helps you navigate your widowhood, your grieving journey in a more positive way, these are tools for life. These are new ways of thinking. These are beliefs, ideas that you are going to take forward with you in life and implement them into your life, helping you grow, helping you flourish, helping you be the best that you can be. So Katie told me about her TED Talk. Her TED Talk is titled How Loss Can Teach Us to Live. And Katie said in her email to me that when we had worked together, it was super hard for her. And it was super. She was absolutely broken into a million pieces, trying to keep everything together when it felt like everything was falling apart around her. However, she said that the ideas formulated and the time that we had spent together has really had a profound impact on her over the last 2 years. And I love this. I absolutely love this because obviously when I work with people, I'm helping them. I'm helping them take back control. I'm educating about grief, what that looks like, what it feels like, how we can learn to carry it more lightly, but also how we can dig a little bit deeper into ourselves, how we can really start to think about who we are, what we want, what we value in life, what we want our future to look like or not look like, and really start shaping the person that we are going to become. As Katie says in her TED Talk, the future that we envisioned no longer exists, but that doesn't mean that it needs to be any less wonderful. And that really touched my heart because With everything that I say and do, I want you to understand that the life ahead of you can be wonderful again. Now, that's not an easy process. It's not something that happens quickly. And it does take a lot of hard work to get there. We have to get up every day and be brave and courageous. We have to do things that take us out of our comfort zone. We have to accept that life is going to be so very, very different now. But understanding that different doesn't mean bad. It's just going to be different, but it can still be good. Grief is a catalyst for growth and change. And in our journeys, we are learning how to accommodate those changes and allow that growth to happen. And they are choices. They are the choices that we are making in the everyday. It's the choices that we are making in our current moment, in the now. And those choices lead us to hope for the future. Now, I did a whole episode on choices. If you haven't listened to it already, please do. It's really good because it will really help you see where you are making choices when you don't feel like you have any, and how positive some of those choices are and how proud you should be of yourself for making them. Because it's what we do in today that determines our tomorrow. And it's being really aware of those things, really understanding what we are doing. What choices are we making? How are we supporting ourselves in our grief? When we reach out for help, when we ask for support, when we educate ourselves, when we listen to others' stories, we start to understand grief a lot more. And we can start to make sense of it. And this is why I create the groups that I create, the communities that I create, because there is so much power in coming together with people that get it. Creating that space where you are able to share those dark and scary thoughts. Because as Katie says in her TED Talk, they are less dark and scary when we share them. And it's finding people that we want to share them with, that we trust to share them with. And that is often people that are experiencing something similar to us. Not the same, because we all do this differently. It's different for everyone. But certainly something very similar where you know others will get it. They understand. There's no judgment. There's no criticism. There's no expectation. There is acceptance. There is support, there is encouragement, there is compassion. And when we are able to find a way of releasing what is within us, we are freeing ourselves. We are creating space for new thoughts, for new ideas, for new possibilities. Remember, it's not what we let out that causes us harm. It's what we keep in. Because when we keep things in, we often create shame around them. Because we believe that we've got it wrong. Maybe we're not doing it right. That we will be judged harshly. By finding ways of releasing what is within us, we are helping ourselves to feel lighter. Carrying around everything is heavy. It weighs us down and it can keep us in a place of deep discomfort for a very long time. And this is why it's so important to me to create these communities, to create that safe space. because I know not everybody has it. A lot of people do with their family and friends, and that's wonderful, that's amazing, but not everybody does. Katie also says in her TED Talk how the tiny moments of bravery lead to bigger moments of bravery. And this is so true, because when we are thrown into a world that we don't understand, that we don't know where we fit anymore, we become smaller because we naturally want to stay in a place that we recognize, that we understand, that we know. And that place is quite small when we're widowed. The bigger, wider world feels very scary. We feel very vulnerable in it. So to allow ourselves to take those tiny steps out of our comfort zones, not giant leaps. I'm not talking about selling your house and moving to another country, quitting your job and starting something completely new. Tiny steps, doing something that feels a little bit scary to you, but that you could ask someone for a bit of support, and you know that you could manage that step. And eventually those steps become giant leaps. And that creates momentum, and that keeps us moving forward. And that lessens the fear. It takes the power of it away, and it helps us see that we are far more capable than we ever dreamed possible, that we can grow, that there are parts to us that we didn't know existed before that really come to the forefront now. And we really start to understand who we are and what we're made of. And that's incredibly empowering. The future is built on what we decide to do today. And I cannot emphasize this enough. We have to keep taking those steps forward. When in those very early days, it feels hopeless. Everything feels futile. And it's very easy to think that nothing is going to work. You are never going to be able to create something good again. But if we can keep taking those steps, if we can keep reaching out for help, if we can find the right support for us, it enables us, it empowers us to create a life in which we can flourish while still grieving, while still loving our person. Those things don't go away. We're learning how to carry that forward with us far more lightly. And it's possible. It's possible for so many of us. It's been possible for me. It's been possible for Katie. She's still on her journey. I'm still on my journey. We're still learning. We're still growing. There's no end point to this. We learn to keep moving. We are learning to accommodate all the changes that life is constantly throwing at us. Understanding that nothing stays the same, even when we want it to stay the same. It doesn't. And learning from others, seeing what others have learnt, how others have grown, what lessons people are taking from their losses, it helps build that evidence up for us that we can do it too. And this is what I want to provide for you. I want to provide more and more evidence that if it's possible for me, if it's possible for Katie, if it's possible for many other clients that I've supported over the years, it's possible for you too. It'll take longer than you want it to. It'll probably be harder than you think it'll be. I can't lie and pretend that it's a fun journey to go on. But what I can say is that it's worth it. Investing in you doing something that supports you in life, in grief, in loss, it's life-changing. And that is powerful. So I'm going to put the link to Katie's TED Talk in the show notes. You can go and check it out on YouTube. Go find TED Talks, How Loss Can Teach Us to Live by Katie Hunt. So much of what she says will resonate with you and give you something to think about as well. I hope that has helped. If there's a way you think I can support you in your grief and help you take some more positive steps forward, please do get in touch. I'm here. You don't have to do this alone. There is so much that I can help you with. There are so many ways I can help you reduce your suffering and really understand who you are, what it is you desire, and how you can go about creating something good in life for you again, while still loving and honouring your person. Sending you lots of love. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Widow podcast with me, Karen Sutton. If you would like to be part of a supportive community of people who understand your grief, come and join my free Facebook group, Widowed and Rising. And make sure you tune in to the next episode of the Widow podcast.